Hello and welcome everyone, this is Dmitry. We are having another network programmability stream, though I should probably start asking myself a question, how is it related to network programmability at all? But I think we'll leave this question for another time. Today we are going to discuss and try serverless, try to understand what it really is, and then we'll also try to do some hands-on with it and try to get it working. As the platform of choice, we will be using Google Cloud Run. This is one of the newest offerings by Google in the serverless space, and even though it's not pure serverless, it's not like 100%. We'll try to understand why a little bit later. If you're watching this as a recording, under the video there should be a time code, so you can jump to different sections of the video. Alright, before we start with our main topic, as usual, there's a couple of things I would like to discuss this week. And for some reason, I was not able to make this font bigger on the right. I tried, I failed miserably, so I'm sorry guys. For those of you with not very big resolution, you will probably not be able to read this. But anyway, so first, very important news. Christmas is coming, New Year is coming, and for me it means that I will have a Christmas break for 2 weeks starting tomorrow. What this means for you and me is that we are having stream marathon. Okay, so we will be having stream almost every single day, starting at around 6 p.m. my time. Could be a little bit later, later like sometimes we do. The duration is probably going to be a little bit less than usual, so instead of 3 hours like I usually do, probably I will be targeting 1.5 to 2 hours. I have a project for that, though if you have some better ideas, please do let me know. I'm all ears and I'm ready to do whatever if it's interesting. So the project that I chose is, I am very curious about the performance of different network automation tools and techniques. And what I want to do is to build a very big lab with 1000 devices on my PC here. So around 1000 routers is what I want to have, and then test two usual things. First is commands gathering, and second is pushing configs on these thousands of devices. Will be, so the list that of things that I want to check is Ansible. My biggest nemesis, Ansible. Then Python with Nornier, so with stress obviously, then Python async IO, and then Golang. So I want to test these 4 things and see how well they perform when we are talking about the scale. Okay, because doing tests on 10 devices is fine, but it's not giving a bigger picture. So very likely, because we are talking about thousands of devices, it's very likely that we will need to do some kind of other automation on top of it to actually build that lab in the first place. Okay, so for example, it depends how lazy I'm going to be, but for example, I need to add thousands of routers into GNS3 topology, right? One choice is to do all of that manually. Another choice is to build a JSON and push it to the server via API. Another thing is like day zero provisioning, right? I need thousands of routers provisioned with at least like static IP, SSH, netcon, frescon, whatever, right? So that, if I can do that manually, or I can try applying some day zero stuff on it. So I'm not sure yet. It really depends on my mood, and also depends on you guys if this is what you want to see. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I am targeting the whole next week just for this. Yeah. So yeah, another thing is that it's possible that on one of the days we'll not have a stream or something like that. For some life stuff could get in the way, or maybe we'll like postpone for a couple of hours. I don't really know. So I'm targeting every day at 6 p.m. my time, but it may always change, but probably slightly. So please do follow me on Twitter. I'll be informing on my schedule. Okay, another thing, and I do see your comments in the chat, so I will address them once we are done with this section. Well, clan member, thank you so much for following. I appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, to summarize, stream marathon starts tomorrow at the same time as my usual streams. They will be a little bit less in time than my usual streams on Sunday. So if you have nothing to do during Christmas break, please do join. I will be happy to see you here and see you in the chat as well. All right, next thing. So I had a stream about Golang, and you know guys that I am using this thing called Pretzel Rocks. So I have a subscription here, and what Pretzel Rocks is they give you a catalog of music from like independent creators, which is how it's called, like copyright free or something. So like I can actually use this music on whatever, and it should not get like any copyright claims. At least this is what I thought it would happen. This is why I bought this subscription in the first place. However, today I actually got my first copyright claim on YouTube for one of the songs that has been used here. It seems like it was done by Pretzel itself, and they have like a service which will claim it and then release the claim, though my copyright claim was not released yet. So I will probably contact their support. It's a very weird situation. What does it mean that you have copyright claims? So there are like two ways for it. Well, first of all, if there is a copyright claim, then all of your monetization on that video is going to the person who claimed the copyright. And then the second thing is you may like mute that part of the video or something if you want to. So hello there, Hargav. So yeah, it's a very weird situation because I'm paying for this service specifically to be able to use it on the stream, and then I got copyright claim anyway, so I don't know what the frick is going on there. Another thing. 2 days ago there was the last day for PyCon US 2020 submissions, and of course I waited for the last day, and but today actually, I actually managed to submit 2 talks for PyCon. So one of them is about poetry. So poetry is Python application and dependency management tool, which I use widely in all of my projects for 1.5 years so far. And another talk is something that I already delivered in the past. It's called Optimizing Docker Builds for Python Applications. I did that talk at EuroPython 2019. So I submitted this to for PyCon US 2020. If I get accepted, this will be my first time ever I am speaker at PyCon US. So I am really hoping for that, looking forward to that as well. So yeah, let's see if they get accepted. Last thing that I want to discuss before the main topic, and I tweeted about this a couple of days ago. So I bought a thing called Elgato Stream Deck Mini, and this is how it looks. Essentially, it's like this very small device which has buttons on it. That's pretty much it. Now the beauty of these buttons, well, they do have like small screen, is that the software, they change the context based on the what is your foreground app. And I want to use this for my stream specifically because after I switch to Windows, I have only a single monitor. So I have my PC and I have a single monitor. So it really complicates stuff with like starting and stopping recording, muting yourself, changing scenes, and so on and so forth. So and yeah, I decided I don't need another monitor here because I do have my laptop on like left here where I see chat and I see some other things, but I still need some kind of control for my stream. Last time and today I'm using my mobile app, which actually works pretty nicely, but I still want to use something else because you get the interference from my mobile phone. Yeah, I bought this thing and it should arrive next week. So probably on one of the streams during the marathon next week, I should be able to test it out. I'm very excited about that. This stream and recording not sponsored by Elgato, but Elgato, if you are listening to this, maybe we could make it work. All right. Okay, let me address some of the comments in the chat. So, companies adopting it Ansible cause AWX. I feel sorry. No, people who know me know that I am not a fan of Ansible at all. I do have some bias and some hatred towards it. So yeah, so sorry. I'm so sorry, Carlos. I recommend Rancher.com or for your test lab or K3S if they are low powered. First of all, I've been using Rancher to work for some of my apps. I haven't tried K3S, but whatever. It's not about that. First of all, I don't know about many lightweight routers, like real routers. When I say real, I mean like something that actually has proper like control plane and data plane, whatever. I haven't seen many of those which run in containers. There are some, but yeah. So specifically for lab itself, I'm going to be using GNS3 with iOS on Linux, so with IOL, since I can spin up a lot of these processes on this desktop that I have. So yeah, I don't see how a container management could help me here specifically. Hello, my favorite streamer. Thank you. Good to see you. Still doing this. Unfortunately, this isn't on my to learn list, so I will not be staying, but looking forward to more streams. No problem. Thanks for coming anyway. You switched to Windows, kind of. So my still work machine is my MacBook Pro, but I am streaming on Windows and I am playing games on Windows, and I am running very big labs on Windows as well, because I built this desktop separately and it's very powerful. Yeah. Alright, if you have any other questions, comments, please do let me know at any point on the stream. Another very things that I wanted to cover just before we start the main topic is ideas for future streams, and I have this list here, and I'm so sorry that it's probably very small for you, couldn't make it bigger. So this is a list of things that I consider doing on the stream, on some of the future streams. And yeah, if you have any kind of ideas, something interesting, please just suggest it to me. The best avenue is Twitter, but you can also find my email address on my website. If of course I could type it properly, so it's dmfiegel.me, and then in the about page, there are some of my contact details here. So if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know about them, and maybe we can actually cover that on the stream. All right. So let's actually get started with today's topic, which is serverless, and as a product we are going to use Google Cloud Run. I've been doing a poll on Twitter for like which serverless thing we should cover. I listed there Google Cloud Run, and then Azure Functions, and then like some other thing, but no one mentioned anything in the comments. So yeah, Cloud Run won. I think it's like 40% of the votes or so. So today we are covering Google Cloud Run. So but first let's step back and try to understand what serverless really is. And I think I first heard the word serverless in the middle of last year, or maybe beginning of last year. So I was actually quite late with all of this hype. Last year it was, especially like closer to the end of the year, it was one of the most hype-ish words in technology I have heard. So I think a year before that it was machine learning and AI, and then last year it was still machine learning, but serverless and multi-cloud was definitely on top of the list among hype-ish terms. And when I heard the word serverless, like, it didn't make any sense to me, like complete zero. Like, but what do you really mean by that? And I still believe that this term is garbage. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever. Let me try explaining how I understand serverless. So I mentioned you are a developer, right? You are building some kind of software application. And you as a developer, what you really want is not to care about where it's going to be deployed and how. Like, and what I mean by that, like, you don't want to care about like virtual machine where it's going to be run, okay? because then you will need to like some kind of VM management, right? So either cloud or on-prem. So like with vSphere, if you're doing it on-prem or in cloud, like you would need to get a VM from AWS, GCP, or whatever, Azure. But anyway, like you still have to like do some kind of administration for it, and then also have a processes to be able to send the code there. Another choice, which is very popular and also kind of hypey right now, is Kubernetes. So you build your application in container, right? And then you deploy on either on-prem cluster, Kubernetes cluster, and or in cloud cluster, which takes care for you of like, how many instances of this application I want, how I want to scale it, how I want networking to work, how I want to monitor that container, stuff like that. So Kubernetes is like another way, and it also can be on-prem or in cloud. But all of this, even if you're using cloud Kubernetes solution, right, you still need to like care about that. Like even if it's GUI management for that, you still have to do it. Now the idea behind serverless was, I think, to go like one step further and not to care about the where it's run at all, where you don't see things like Kubernetes, because this is not like the level of abstraction you are working on. So the idea is that you package your application, and in the first iteration of serverless, it wasn't even container. So for example, you're building your Python application, right? And you are like archiving it in a way that serverless vendor asks you to. I think in the very first iteration of Google, I forgot how their serverless was called before. Was it functions as well? Google Functions or Cloud Function? I don't remember, whatever. I think you had to package it in like some kind of like zip archive with dependencies in like very specific way, and then you have to upload it to like somewhere, and then it will be run. I think it was actually Amazon. I don't remember. I think it was AWS Lambda, which is their serverless solution. But now they are all of this. So yeah, and you package it in a way they understand, and then you like don't care about deploy at all. And what they do for you, the serverless vendors, is they take your code, they take your package code, and then they like hot deploy it. For example, imagine you're building an HTTP service, right? Typical example would be a bot, right? For example, Twitch bot or Webex Teams bot or Slack bot, whatever, right? It's something that should live on some kind of server and should listen for requests. So a lot of services right now are based on HTTP, and so you have this code, right? And whenever a request comes to some kind of URL, right? And if it's hosted on this serverless platform, that the serverless solution will proxy it to some part of their infrastructure and spin up some kind of compute instance there on the fly with your code. Okay, so for example, you go to, let's say, bot jmfigel.me, right? And then whatever, my IP request. And if I would host this bot jmfigel.me on serverless, so the serverless like gateway would route, well, it will see this request, it will like look up where it should route it to, where it should proxy it to. It sees, oh, it's like a serverless thing, serverless app. So I will point this to a proper place in my infrastructure, and I will spin up something with your code for that request, and then I will tear it down. Am I making sense? So basically it's provisioning of resources, of compute resources on the fly when like as requests coming in. So this is the idea. Now this part of like what is really going on there is completely abstracted for you. So like you have really no idea like how it's being proxied, how it's being routed, what kind of thing is being spin up. Is it a big container? Is it like a VM? What it really is? Like you don't really know, and you don't really care, but you get your app provisioned under some kind of endpoint, and then once the request is done, then we tear it down. And then it really ties to this like pay-as-you-go model, right? So like if you have a lot of requests, you will pay quite a lot, and if they're taking a long time as well, you will pay probably a lot. If you're barely using it, like you have some private bot which you're using twice per day or something, then the price is going to be very low, and majority of serverless providers have free tier, including Google Cloud Run as well, so they do have free tier for this. So basically it's a way to abstract how the application is deployed, and that's why I don't really like serverless, is that there is still some kind of server on the backend for it. It's just it's abstracted for you, and you don't really know like how it looks like, what kind of resources are there. You don't have to care how to manage it, all of that stuff. Like you just don't really care. You just give this code to serverless vendor, and they spin up for you. So very cool things for like bots and stuff. Like you don't have to care at all how to host it. You just pay a little, or well, depending on your usage, right? It's pay as you go for like they're managing this for you, and you just the one building code for it. So yeah, I do think like bots are like de facto like primary examples for serverless, but a lot of other apps can run in the serverless architecture as well, to be honest, because right now we are building a lot of services using HTTP. Okay, let me address some stuff in the chat. Docker for nomads. Yeah. Speaking of nomads, there is a container management solution from HashiCorp, right? It's called Nomad. Would be good for NetDevops environment, containerized, don't care where I work. Kind of. So I don't know the current state of serverless. I'm not 100% sure that they provide you on-prem version for that. So, and like really for a lot of NetDevops stuff, like when you want to manage your network devices, it's very likely that you would want to have that run on-prem somehow, right? Because like you don't want to, well, first of all, network devices themselves are usually the one that provide connectivity, right? So like if you manage them with this and internet goes down, then you can't manage them at all. So that kind of sucks. So I would say it's debatable if it's applicable for NetDevOps, but it also depends if there is right now on-prem serverless solution. So I think, again, like I am not in this area, not in this space, so I'm not expert on this at all. I think someone like Amazon, what they were announcing some time ago is that you can build, you can buy their servers, their like one unit servers, 1 unit blades. You put it in data center, and then like they kind of like build like a version of the cloud on-prem or something like this. But again, like I have never tried it, I don't know details. So yeah, for NetDevOps, I would be very, very careful about like using cloud solution for that. However, there are some use cases for it, especially like on monitoring side. I think there are some ways to make it work. Actually, I have some idea in mind for today. I'm not sure if we will get there. The idea would be to have a router, and I actually didn't spin up my topology. So you have a router, and then you build up some kind of EM script or something which will react on event on the router. So either like log message or some kind of route or interface going down, whatever. And then with this EM, we will send a request to our cloud serverless app. And then that serverless app will do something like send a Webex Teams message or send a Slack message or something. So this was my idea there, but I'm not sure we will be able to get there. Testing VS Code remote environment connects to Docker and Windows, goes stuck on Windows, but having hard time connecting to that container to local GNS 3 ETM. So Docker and Windows and GNS 3. Yeah, so you will have a hard time. So this is something that I actually covered at some point on the stream and also on Twitter. So if you're running Docker on Windows, it's using Hyper-V as virtualization, right? And Docker on Windows spins up lightweight Unix machine with Docker in Hyper-V. This is what it does. And then there is this kind of interaction between Windows and that VM. So technically Docker on Windows is not really on Windows, it's in VM on Windows. Now another thing is that if you're running something like GNS 3, especially with like your server being local, for example, you're running GNS 3 VM, right? And you're using either VMware or VirtualBox. So VMware doesn't work at all with Hyper-V at the same time. So that is out of the question. VirtualBox works with works a little bit sometimes with Hyper-V in version 6 or something. But I found that devices that I run, which are in particular CSR 1000V, are not working very well in VirtualBox at all. So, short answer to your question, you will have issues if you want to make it work. I might have to put GNS3 server in the container. That will work partially, so that may work if you're running IOL, but that will not work with if you want to run like CSRs or something like that, because you need KVM, and KVM will not be running in the container. Yeah, it will not be running in the container, so that is right out of the question. What you can do is having your GNS3 like an actual server. somewhere else. So you run GUI on your Windows, but you run the server somewhere else, like some another server, and then you set up connectivity from like Docker on Windows to that server, so that can work. All right, let's jump into today's topic. So yeah, you will have issues. Serverless and Google Cloud Run. So I already briefly explained how I understand serverless. Oh, I actually didn't mention it. So at first, a lot of the serverless solutions were really restricted on the language and had really specific way how you upload code there. Like really specific. So like every service was like putting some kind of restriction on it. And then another pain point was dependencies, right? Like I have this Python app which does something and I need libssh, or I need OpenSSL installed, or I need liblxml to parse XML or something. And then like, oh, how do you put all of these dependencies together with my app to be able to run in serverless? So there were a lot of tension, a lot of issues there. So what I see now is that a lot of serverless providers move to this newest offering where instead of that packaging, you provide a container for them. And I think so Azure Functions right now, I think they support containers, and then Google built like a separate product which is also supporting containers. So instead of like thinking like how do I package my app with all of the dependencies, now I kind of like, oh, give me whatever. You still will have some kind of restriction on how do you process like requests, like how do you do routes and stuff, but this is much less restriction than it was before. As long like as you build container according to some of their like some constraints, there are not many, and you give them this container, then you should be good to go. So this is what we are going to explore. We will be exploring Google Cloud Run, which is serverless with containers, pretty much. All right. So let's get started. I also created here a separate account for GCP. So Google Cloud Run is fully managed compute platform, runs stateless containers that are invocable via HTTP request. So we built a container which listens for a HTTP request. Cloud Run is serverless. It abstracts away all infrastructure management so you can focus on matters the most, building great applications. Yes. It is built from Knative, which letting you choose to run containers either fully managed or in your Kubernetes engine cluster. So yes, this is interesting. So they either allow you to run these containers fully managed, or you can, if you are already using GKE, which is Google Kubernetes engine, with Google, and I think it can be on-prem as well. Can GKE be on-prem? I think it can be. Yeah, you can build it with Anthos. Actually, I should read more about Anthos. So it seems like they allow you to build GKE clusters in your on-prem VMware infrastructure. That's pretty interesting. So if you have that, I guess you can deploy it there as well. Cloud Run pricing, you can check it out. I think they allow you what where is free tier? Yeah, I should definitely read about Antus. I'm curious. I started hearing this thing more and more. Okay. White Cloud Run container to production in seconds. Okay. Oh, this is what I talked about. You see, many serverless platforms add constraints around support of the languages and libraries, or even restrict the way you code. So with something like Cloud Run, and right now many serverless vendors have that, enables you to write blah 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 stateless containers on experience, whatever, need whatever. Okay, tutorials, documentation. Let's go. Deploying a pre-built sample container, set up your Google Cloud project and deploy existing container to Google Cloud Run, build and deploy. Okay, so we'll have to probably go through a couple of these. Okay, in Cloud Console on the project selector page, select or create a Google Cloud project. Let's go. Create a project. My project. Network programmability stream. Let me check Cloud Functions meanwhile. Okay, project is here, blah blah blah. Add people to this project now. API request, call all services normal. Interesting. Seems like they improved the UI of GCP quite a bit since the last time I was using it, like 1.5 years ago. Okay, so let's keep going. Make sure that billing is enabled for your Google Cloud project. Yeah, let me double check that, there is no like credit card info or stuff like that. Give me one more second here. All right. All right. Let's keep going. Deploying a sample container. To deploy container, go to Cloud Run. Okay. You know what I think I should do? I think I should do this. Okay, click Create Service to display Create Service form. That's so weird. Like, who thought that putting a default for something that you are not using is a great idea? Okay, so GCR.io is a Google Container Registry. And I think you can use it too, if you want. It would be good if they had some kind of description here, like on Docker Hub. Let me get rid of all of this stuff. Allow unauthenticated invocations to be able to open a result in your web browser. Tick this if you're creating a public API or require authentication. Let me actually, I want to learn this a little bit. Cloud Run yum. Use identity tokens and calling other Cloud Run or any other service that can validate. Can use compute metadata server to fetch identity tokens to specific audience. Okay, so the idea here is that if you want authentication, you use this identity token. So first you set up IAM role in Google Cloud. You set it up. Then you fetch identity token. So you go to this metadata Google blah 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 blah. You say like I want token for service X or something. And then you can generate the access token. Okay, we will not be using this today, but just keep that in mind if you need like authenticated service. And okay, so Cloud allow unauthenticated. Click create to deploy image. Let me see optional. CPU allocated, memory, maximum request per container. Okay, the maximum number of concurrent requests that can reach each container instance. What is concurrency? So it seems like they will spin up one container per this number of requests. Time within which a response must be returned. Maximum of 1 hour. Port on the container listens on. Okay, so this is one of those restrictions, if you will, right? Like you need to tie like your serverless to some specific port. Service account, let's see. Default compute service account. Environment variables here as well, which is very good. Cloud SQL connection. Okay, so another thing is that a lot of apps are not really completely stateless, right? A lot of apps usually read and write data somewhere. Well, we don't care about read, but we care about writing data, right? You don't really write data in containers, especially in like cloud solution, because you need mounts or something. What you use is some kind of database, and if you're using any kind of cloud vendor, they have their database solution as well. For example, Google's one is called Cloud SQL. So you can create Cloud SQL service database fully managed for you. And then here you will say, oh, and by the way, this Cloud Run service will connect to Cloud SQL. Okay. That was pretty painless. Yeah, and we are done. This is kind of weird tutorial. Like, yes, we build it, and then like It's running. Congratulations, you successfully deployed a container image to Cloud Run. This created a revision, blah blah blah, of the Cloud Run service hello in GCP project, blah blah blah. Code inside this container is listening for HTTP requests on port, defined by port, and it's not able to execute when it's not processing a request. You can deploy to Cloud Run any container that respects these constraints. It will automatically run at scale without you having to worry about anything. So I think what I want to do is build some kind of, there are two ways to look at it. I can either build a Webex Teams bot, and let me think if this is a good idea. Not really, not to be honest. Like, yeah, I don't like. No, but I think I want to go with that idea where we have some kind of listener for requests from like routers or something. So like not Webex Teams bot, but like a listener for router events. Enable cloud build and clone run APIs. Interesting. APIs. Enable APIs. Install and initialize SDK. Okay, I think I will. Are you freaking kidding me? You guys, come on. What? WTF? Python 2. Wow. This Cloud SDK, the Cloud has GA support for running using Python 3. That's fucked up. All right. They could also put this on PyAPI, to be honest. Why are you doing this to me? I honestly sometimes don't understand Google. Like, all usual people put their libraries on PyAPI, and this one, oh no, you have to download them separately. Okay, we extracted this. Ouch. All right. So what do we need? Let me change my pass variable. Right. We are done. Um, Let's do network controller. Let me actually try this. If this works, then this simplifies a lot of things for me. If I can, so I want to run VS Code locally and then deal with code remotely. Give me a second though. I need to check that there is no sensitive information in my Visual Studio Code right now. That would be bad. That's weird. This is cool. Yo. Yo. That's hot. That's hot. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? This is absolutely beautiful. I didn't know this feature exists in VS Code. I am impressed. Alright, I have to think this through. Containerizing and not uploading the container registry. Well, I'm using Poetry usually, so that's that. Let me think. So I have my project folder. Yeah, this will not work the way I need it to work. By the way, does it also allow you to use terminal? Just tell me. If this does allow you to use your terminal, that is going to be insane. Yo, that's amazing. I didn't know that all these features existed in VS Code. This is cool. Okay, so then what do we need? Okay. Do I have Poetry installed? Do I have latest poetry installed? Poverty. Poetry. Debugging for it. Let me check something. Oh yeah, I'm still using old poetry. You know what? We have to fix this. We have to fix this. I don't think poetry self-update will work though. Or it will. Alright, so that worked. Now we will go to network controller and we will say we'll say poetry init and then yes, yes, and no, no, yes. Okay, so I have this Pi project toml. Now, okay. Let's refer to their docs. So what do they need from us? I may need to rearrange stuff though. Because we will have a Dockerfile. Okay. I will leave it like this. Okay, let me copy this, even though I'm not going to use this, but right. So we receive slash here. Okay. And I don't want to use Flask. I want to be fancy. So if I want to be fancy, now the only question is Sonic or so there is Sonic, there is Python versus Quart. So it's either Sonic, Quart, or Starlette. I think I'm ready to try Starlette. So all of these are async frameworks. Production ready, WebSocket, GraphQL, Python 3.6, Starlette. You will want Unicorn. Okay, let's do this. So, hello stream. Okay. So I do this. I need to add Starlet, and the view I need to add Unicorn. I think I will need. Yeah, so we will need poetry at Starlet, Unicorn. I do think we should test locally first though. So if we say poetry run I think I need poetry install though. Poetry run Unicorn, and then controller main app. Okay, and then we'll say on port 8000. Oh, okay. I can use it from like CLI, but I don't want to. Wait, what? I should be able to use it from here. So, hello. What? Okay, something is not right. Okay, let me try locally from here. This works. Interesting. Very interesting. So this works. Oh, well, first of all, it's actually slash, right? But this doesn't work. So there are two ways to, wow. How about, do I have telnet? I don't have telnet here. Can I do it from here? No, it doesn't respond. How can I quickly test port? Well, I can do, I don't remember the commands. Linux check open ports. I have here, listen, yeah, this is what I needed to do. Host 000, okay. Let's go. Let's go. Amazing. Okay, so now I have basic service with async and stuff. Now we'll actually, let me think. What would be, oops, I lost my AirPod. I would say we'll do this. I will say slash ping. Here is going to be ping, and then result something like this. And I think there was a reload option as well. Homepage not defined because yes. Okay, and then here I should be able to say this is not found, and then ping result pong. Okay, cool. So this works. Not HTTPS unfortunately, but whatever. Debug true. We'll just leave it. We don't care that much. Okay, so this works. Now another thing that I want to do is def, let's say so I want to have config changed request, and then So what I want here is that we will reply to incoming HTTP from the router. But there is one thing that I really need is the following. Cisco EM find hostname. Okay, info router name, this is what I need. So the idea here is the following. We have a router. Whenever there is config changed, we will send an HTTP request to our serverless app, and then the serverless app in response should send a message, I think. So like should send a Webex Teams message to myself. So let's let me open a new file. Like it's going to be our algorithm, right? So what do we need? Like no, not algorithm. Let's say what we need. What we need. Create Webex Teams bot and save token. For every let's say process requests to config changed router hostname. Yeah. Send a message via from Webex Teams bot to myself saying configuration has changed on device router hostname. This is what I want. Yeah, this is what I need. And because we are using async, we don't really need any kind of queue here. We should be fine without queue. So process request to config changed. Yeah, the reason why, I mean, ideally what I want is to have post here. So ideally should be post config changed, and then it should be like host name is this. But in Cisco IS you can't do that, at least like by default, without like guest shell and some other stuff. From like EM itself, you just can't do post, right? So you can do get, even though like it kind of breaks, like it's not really how it's supposed to be, because this is like event generation. We can actually say event config changed like this. Ideally should be post. Yeah, this just doesn't work without guest shell, and I don't want to use guest shell for this. So we'll be using get. Alternatively, we could use get with a question mark, but putting question mark in Cisco IS config is asking for trouble. So we will not be putting question mark. So it will be just do it like this, even though it just, I don't like using get when you're supposed to use post. But I do think it's actually a pretty nice use case, right, for like serverless and like integration with this like chat stuff and doing some kind of networking stuff here as well. And then we could add like more events here. I think all of this makes sense. So I can do this later. This is pretty straightforward, though I can't use the existing library because we are using async here. We can tackle this one right now because we can also test it very quickly. Response to this should be 200, okay. So first of all, let's say starlette docs. Okay, so I think I can do response and empty string here. I don't care about media type. I don't care about any of that. So we will let's do another thing. Let's create a new file, right? So events py. We'll copy some of this part. And then here is config changed. Here we will have to say from controller events, from controller import events, and then we'll not have this. We'll say route events. I want to modularize this. Routing. It's a simple but capable request routing system. Routing table define a list of routes and then a pass blah blah blah. Endpoint argument can be one of regular function or async function which accepts single request argument. Class that implements ASGI interface such as starlette class based views. Okay. Oh, surmounting routes. Large application, you might find that you want to break out parts of the routing table based on the common path prefix. Yes, yes, please. Yes. it's funny how it's all started with serverless and Google Cloud. Now I'm just, oh, you know what? Let me just write this Python code. And also in the framework, this is actually a framework I really wanted to test, but I never did. So now I'm abusing the stream for my own gain of learning this new Python framework. You know what? I'm not sorry. Not sorry at all. I don't have what? No. Oh, you have to install this remotely. Okay. Mm, what did I do? God damn it. God damn it. Yeah, this is not great. This is absolutely not cool. We will need another thing, by the way. Yeah, HTTPX is async Python client, so also something that I wanted to test. Because previously I was using HTTP, but I want to try something else. Okay, so yes. God damn it. You happy now? Hmm? Okay. Now this works. Finally. Routing. Large application, blah blah blah. Homepage, users. No, it should be like this. Flake, please leave me alone right now. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Likes to nag me about all of this stuff. Pass parameters. Pass can use URI attempting style. Converters are available. And then it's available like this. Pass parameters are made available in the request as a request pass param. So here we will return JSON as well. So I need this for just for the test. We will return result saying, say host name, and then we'll say here host name. This is the request pass params. This is going to be host name, yeah, and this should be host name. Undefined name users. Where do you see users? Import button used. Okay. I need this. Okay, here. Actually, I think we're good here. Yeah, I think it should be good here. Yes. Okay, let's go. Right. So we should be able to respond to ping. We still do. Now if you say event config changed, this is 4.4. Because we need to provide like this, and we get response hostname R1. Okay, so okay, this works. So instead of returning JSON response, I can just return an empty response, I think. Let me consult their docs. Docs are pretty nice, by the way. They're very concise for the starlette. Responses. Response, set cookie, HTML response, plain text, JSON, UJSON. Redirect, streaming response, file response. Yeah, so yeah, I think I just need the response with 200. Okay. Oh, let me think. How would I add? I will need to add token here. Um. Can use something like nvar-c, I think. Yeah, I think I could use nvar-c. Do I even have nvar-c there? And can I open another terminal here? And I can switch. Can I? How do I hotkey switch here? VS Code switch between terminals. Control Shift. This thingy. Okay. Oh, it just adds more. I don't need more. I can't switch between them. Nah, I have to set it. I don't want to do right now. Okay. I think we could add already Webex teams, right? So there are two more things I need to do. So I need to create a bot, right? I need to get the token. I need to set up a function which will send things. I will need to set token into the environmental variables. Yeah, I think that's it. So I need nrc file, of course not typed in Russian, but god damn it. Okay, so this will be Overwatch Webex token. The name of our bot is going to be Overwatch. This is 1, 2, 3. Then user dir. What was that? Direnv? There is no direnv. Even though this is completely unrelated to serverless, I do hope it is going to be somewhat helpful, because I am kind of like showing the life cycle of a new Python app and like what things I'm doing when I'm creating new like web app or something like this. What is my tooling as well. So I do hope some of it is going to be useful. Why this didn't work? Did I save? I saved this file. Oh, I'm dummy dumb. I am dummy dumb. Okay, perfect. So I have this. Now I can go ahead and create. Yeah, I think I could go ahead and create bot. This build is required. Okay, I have to. I'm so sorry, guys, but I will need to switch the scenes because it will give me the token. Which I need to copy. Just give me a second. Alright, we should be good. So I have this network overwatch bot. I have the token right now. So the next thing we are going to do, we need to send a message. So we need I need docs for the HTTPX library. So I usually, when you're using synchronous programming, you would use something like Webex Teams SDK, but since there is no async package for Webex Teams, I will need to do it manually. That's why we are using async IO HTTP client, which is this HTTPX. Alternative to this is async, HTTP, but I want to try this. So what do I need? HTTPS get. Well, first of all, I need to actually refer to docs, of course. API reference, and I will send messages, and I will send post messages. And so it's going to be one messages. What is the APIs is okay. So we will need these, right? I can actually save you one here. It's not big of a deal. So Webex Teams API root. I can just say Webex API root. this, right? And then Webex API messages endpoint is slash message or messages, I don't remember. Messages, okay. So slash messages, and then authorization, where is this? So I think I need the function, so I see there send Webex message, and then we'll say message string, and then we'll say room ID, optional string, none, and then email, optional string. Right. Body params. Okay, so we'll be sending markdown, keyboard model and KB switch. I do think it's in my description, but I could be wrong. Let me see. Yeah, it should be in my description in the hardware. So I'm using Dockerfile 2 small version with MX style in red. I will also need to set here content type. So let's say the following. So we say headers, right? I will need to import OS here, right? Import OS. So headers is going to be so I need content type. To be honest, I can say content type and accept as well, and then authorization. Yeah, authorization should be have string bearer, and then this one is auth and Overwatch Webex token. Let's simplify this. So token is equal to this, and this is token. We will be sending markdown, so I can say that data is going to be equal to, so markdown is message, right? Then if room ID, then data room ID is room ID. Alternatively, if email, this should be the person email, else raise value error, and then here we'll say either room ID or person's email must be provided. Okay, and then so this is our data. We have markdown. We have one of these. We don't need anything else. So then we have to do the request. So where are the docs for this? So it's going to be await httpx get. Oh no, it should be post, right? Should be post. So where is docs for this? Start. Post. Okay, data. Let me think for a moment. So we will do post data. Yeah, I think this should be good. So we will say, and Zakman, thank you very much for following. Okay, so we'll say response, right, is equal to await. I can say, yeah, response is fine. So response await. So here I will need to import httpx, and he will say await httpx.post, right? And then we'll say first we have to build URL, right? So it's going to be, let's actually build URL here. So URL is equal to this one, right? Plus this one. And then we will post to that URL, and we will say headers is equal to headers, and then data is equal to data. And then, do I care about response? Actually I do. Does it have response okay? Let me see. Okay, yeah, I'll just need to use status code, I guess. So if a response status code yeah, then this is going to do nothing, right? So if not, right? Webex API HTTP failed to send a message. Response is, and we will say here response status code, and then response reason phrase. Okay, cool. And black will fix formatting. Okay, so we send message, right? If blah blah blah, if response code blah blah, then we raise exception. Ideally, we should like do retries and all that, but I don't want to overcomplicate the stream about serverless. It just doesn't make any sense at all, right? So config changed. Oh, yeah. B would want to build a message, right? So our message here is going to be configuration has changed on, and we will say on let's do running configuration is changed on, and then I will put hostname, right? And then instead of JSON response, we will send response, right? We'll say response. I just need what, 200, okay, here I think. So we will say return response, which should be status code 200. Even though it's default, like I would like to be more specific here. So config change hostname, running configuration has changed on hostname. And then we will have to await on the sending a message, which is going to be, did I use async? Yeah. So await send Webex to message, and then message is going to be message, and then yeah, let me change my environment RC again. Hold on. I want to add the email. All right, I am done here, so I need to say email is equal to Webex receiver email, and then email is equal to email, and then yeah, so this is pretty much it here. Oh, here is obviously bullshit, and we have to say this line too long. Yeah, okay. One more setting. I need one more setting here. Format. Okay, and I will wait. Format. Control Shift Alt F. Okay. Okay. Oh, ouch. Yeah. Okay. So config change request hostname, and then we'll send an email. Well, Webex Teams message, right? Okay. So we are. What do you mean invalid syntax? Ah, I don't care. I don't care about you, Flake. For some reason the black is not working here, which is very weird to me. So I use Ctrl Alt F. Oh shit. It says formatting with black, but nothing is happening. Invalid syntax. Oh wow. There is some. I broke something here. Oh. At least it said, but it was not the problem though. To be honest with you, I don't see an issue. Oh no. Invalid syntax unknown, line 12. Invalid syntax unknown. What? Line 12. What do you even mean by that? Oh. Ouch. Ouch. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, so we have this function sending Webex message. We have a route config changed. We extract hostname. We say running configuration has changed on this router. This email is from environmental variables. We use this function now, and we send response okay. If this fails, we'll have a value error, so our request, should return some kind of exception. Then we have a route config changed. With this host name, I can add here more routes, like for more events if I want to. But I think right now we are good. There's JSON response which is unused. Let me delete that. And the way I test it, so if I go here, there was a reload here. So let me change something. I don't want debug, because some debugs show environmental variables, and that's not cool. So if we run this now, interesting. Okay. and receiving no exception here. Of course, because yeah, I think it's because of my debug. Let's try again. None of it works. This is weird. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys. I am dummy dumb. Dummy dumb. It would be good to put port modulos. What? Oh, environment. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's try one more time. Webex receiver email. I may need to do this. Oh, ouch! This didn't work. Yeah, I may need to spin up a new shell here. Because this shell doesn't have DRenv right now. Yeah, this should work. Let's go. Let's go. Response is 400, bad request. Isomorph, thank you so much for hosting. Okay, we are getting somewhere, except not. Malformed syntax, wow. Oh, ouch. Ouch. Does this accept JSON? Yeah, oh boy. Okay. Okay. Look at this. 200, okay. This means that... Where is my Webex? Yeah. Look at this. Huh? Huh? Okay, perfect. So yeah, our basic app is now working, right? The next change, there are two things left to do, and let me see how much we are recording right now. I don't want to go outside of uh, 3 hours, and I think we are approaching that mark. Let me see. Oh, it's 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, guys, we will need to be a little faster, I guess. And hello? My camera focus is just broken right now. Okay, cool. Yeah, right. So we need to build a container from this to host it. I think it would be better if we first build container, deploy it as Cloud Run, and only then we will add a networking device, because I have suspicion we will not have enough time. So we need to build a container. Okay, so basically this is their example, like reworked for our needs. The HTTP handling done by, in this case, GUnicorn. We have UVcorn. We have port, containerized app. Okay, so we need to build the thingy, right? The GUnicorn. I will leave his with UVcorn, and we should be good. And then yeah, this. Okay, first of all, what Python version I'm using? It's 3.7. Okay, 3.7. And what I want to do, let me think. What do I need? I want to refer to my presentation on slides, optimizing Docker builds. Oh, look, that's me. I think there was in comments somewhere put slides. Yo, can you load the comments, please? Yeah, let's go. I think I might need libSSL though. Builder, up, copy main py. Oh boy. Actually, I don't need to copy this file. Okay, and here we need correct CMD. Do we need to? No, we don't need to reload. Let me do it. Yeah, so I think this works. However, we do need to provide the environmental variable from local piece, and I've already forgot how you do it. I think you do it with arg, right? Docker. Oh wait, no, you put it for the running container, right? Yeah, you put it for the running container, so it should be fine. Okay, so this is this, and then I could test this. I do hope I have Docker, though. Do I have Docker? I do have Docker. Okay, so it should be Docker build -t dmfigo network overwatch yo, and then latest, right? And then dot, and then we are waiting for this. Jalmo Cruz, thank you so much for following. Okay, so this is going to be next step. Okay, we are at 2 hours 42 minutes. We still have a little bit of time, but not much. Okay. Okay, that didn't work. What didn't work? Common GCC failed. What? Oh, there is some. Oh, god damn it. Yeah. There's another thing that I quickly wanted to check is this poetry install no def no interaction. This is old command for this install. Okay, install no def. Yeah, I don't think there is no interaction right now. Okay. Alright, attempt number 2. Okay. By the way, there is, so this is using slides.com or reveal.js, which is a framework for building presentations. And once I start using it, it's just so amazing. One of the cool stuff besides, it's very easy to build presentation, but one cool stuff is that we see there is this code in this presentation, which you can just copy. That's just so amazing. So I just copied it directly from the slide. That's why I was looking for my presentation. I didn't want to look on my local machine where this presentation is. You will, yeah, shit. This is not looking great. Yeah, UV loop is not installing fast on Alpine, so that could be an issue. I think it has some runtime dependency. Oh, it actually installed. Okay. Okay, so this worked. Now we have to test it. There are two things that I need to do. Docker pass env. Okay, minus E. Minus E. Pressman. This is not it, by the way. Docker pass and from host. Yeah, so I think it's minus E varname minus E varname. Yeah, so I think it should be. Let me try. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so if I say docker run minus E overwatch Webex token minus E Webex receiver email, right? And then image docker run. I don't need interactive, but I do need a RAM. I need this, and will this even work? Let me think. Oh no, I need minus P, right? I need minus P 80. What part was it? Okay, so this should work, and now this should work on port 80. Did I mess up with ports? Seems like I messed up with ports. Yeah, I messed up with ports. How come I did mess up with ports? Docker run port order. Okay. I think I did it correctly. Okay, I think I can leave it 8,000. I don't care, right? As long as this works, let's just double check. Because really time is not on my side right now. So we'll say 9 and 15. And then ideally I should receive a Webex message here. Which I get right now. And okay, now I confirm that this works on the container. And I build it. I need to refer back to the docs. Okay, I build the container, blah, blah, blah. Okay, build a container image using a cloud build by running the following command from the directory. Now, another thing that I'm curious about is port. Let's actually do 8080. Yeah, let's do 8080. So I need G uvicorn. No, uvicorn docs port minus port. Okay. And do I need 8080 port or which one? 8080, yeah. Okay, so I need to go back here and say, where is my G? Yeah. So I need to add here port 8080, right? Okay, and then let's quickly rebuild the container. Let's listen on 8080 on both sides. Actually, it didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work because I dummy didn't rebuild the container. Okay, and then we change here to 8080. Okay, it runs on 8080, and if I go, should I stay or should I go? Where is this? Here. Yeah. So let's do switch one. Wow. Okay, I broke it. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, it didn't even receive the request. What? Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. So switch one. And then I should receive a message again on switch one. Okay, cool. So this works. Then the next thing is, you guys are very quiet today. Let's see. Build your container image using cloud build by running the following command from the directory containing Dockerfile. Submit tag project ID, where project ID is your GCP project ID. You can get it by running this command. Okay, cool. Okay, this is my project ID. Upon success, okay, so I need to build this using this. So we will say, so it's network programmability stream, and then I will say network overwatch. Doesn't. Okay, cool. Okay, I will need to see success. We need tarbile. Okay, and I will need to deploy this. And I can deploy it via CLI. That's pretty cool. people who are watching the stream. And so once I deploy this, we will see a URL, right? And I would encourage you to use that URL. You will see. So that you can start sending me messages via Webex Teams like this. But I will ask you to be nice, okay? I would prefer not to edit this in the recording to cut some parts. So this really takes a long time, to be honest. But we are very close, right? So okay, I will need gcloud run deploy. I will need to put my image name. Let's actually prepare this. So this should be network programmability stream, yeah. And then this should be what it should be. It should be network overwatch, yeah. And then port 8080, yeah. Replace project ID. You'll be prompted for the service name. You can select region and you can allow, and then you will get the URL. All right, cool. So let's just wait. Oh, you know what? Meanwhile, I can create a lab with GNS3. I had some problems with restarting the CSRs, so I may need to start new CSRs. Meanwhile, I can also build EM script. Hold on. I need to find a reference script from some of my projects because I don't remember syntax very well. Yeah. Oh, success. Yeah. Okay. So what was the next? gcloud run deploy, platform managed. Okay. Let's go. Okay, we will deploy it in Europe. Yeah, service name, network overwatch, allow, yes. Cool. So I should receive a URL, and I will encourage you guys to try it out. But please be nice, okay? So what you should be able to do is putting like the URL, right? And then /event/config changed. Oh, actually, no. this will not work yet. Hold on, don't try. This will not work because I did not put environmental variables. Gcloud run environmental variables. Yeah, let's try. Oh, ouch, it's not it. Okay, I should be able to see these variables. I mean, I just set key 1, so oh, here it is. Okay, cool. So we will have to say my routers work, by the way. That's amazing. Actually, they will not work the way they're supposed to work, to be fair, because I need to connect them to another interface to have NOT. So we will say and then Webex receiver email. Was it comma? Where is this? Yeah, it's comma. Okay. To be fair, I could say this. Yeah. Okay. What do I need? Oh, I need routers. Yeah. Where are my routers? So I need an IP address on okay, I got the address. Cisco. What did I do? This is the worst. It doesn't receive an IP address. Why doesn't it receive an IP address? Doesn't receive IP address on the gigabit one. God damn it. Okay, whatever. So now I should be able to try this out. Yeah, so I should say event config changed R100. It should return 200 to me, and then I should receive a Webex News message, which I do. Perfect. Guys, if you want, you can try this as well. But as I said, be nice. So let me see how I can send a message to the chat here. So event config changed. And then postname. Just be nice, okay? I know I said it already 4 times, but I just don't want to edit recording of this stream later. It would be so lame. So I was really hoping that these routers will work, but apparently my NAT cloud is not working. If I put bridge, will that work? Does my VM have bridge in the first place? I mean, if it has bridge, maybe. Do I have bridge? Tell me I have bridge. No, I have not. Oh, goddamn, I don't have bridge. But I can add bridge, right? So I will get an IP address from my network, and then I should be able to not, allegedly. I may need to disable firewall, which I think I have disabled. Firewall is off. Damn. I was really hoping for this NAT cloud. Usually, let me see this device. Oh wow, this, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I put incorrect? No, I put correct interface. But my router too has IP address. LOL. Oh, okay, cool. So I can actually test this router. I don't know what's wrong with this one. What's wrong with your router? Okay, so I have this. So now I should configure EM script. I couldn't find the. Yeah, no one sent Webex Teams message to me. That's fine. I should be able to build this EM script, but oh shit. Let me try to remember where I can get example. Enterprise programmability lab GitHub. Yeah, I think this one. 2 years ago, tasks. Guess shell, readme, GNA scripts, py, setup py. Goddamn. Lab template, py. No. I think it should be here, but I can't find this in my files. actually. Maybe I did. Hello, Dio. No, that's not it. Where the hell is the script? How can I find it? That's a question for $1,000,000. Here we go, yeah. Yeah. I'm resourceful. Okay, and here we have to provide the hostname. EM hostname. All right. I am ready to test this. Did this work? It didn't work. Hello, Sira Lireza. How are you doing? I don't think this... No, this doesn't work right now. Interesting. Why this doesn't work? Okay. Error. That's not very helpful. Oh, an HTTP version of this works. Lol. Okay, let me try HTTP version of this. That's weird. Are there any logs? There should be some kind of logs for this service. Logs, yeah. Well, HTTP is being redirected to HTTPS. Okay, this results in the message. But I think you need to create local certificate in order to use crypto. Well, to be fair, it should not be needed. Because we are not using HTTP server locally, we are using HTTP client locally. It should not really matter. This looks good to me. It's the same configuration which required for SSH. So you mean like creating a key? Yeah, it could be. I don't know, but okay, I'm willing to try that. Oh, this of course will not work. This is so weird. Yeah, I don't know how to solve this. I do have some code, some other place where we are using this method, but it's just weird. I mean, I could always run guest shell, but it's such an ugly solution for this problem. I have an idea. I don't think it matters, but I will do it anyway. Here, instead of none, I will return content. Yeah, I will do content. I will just put hostname here. This should give us a little bit more details when we are doing this GET request. So I will need to rebuild my container. Okay, so I need to okay, I already deployed, but I need build. What was the build command? Why this doesn't work? Okay. Three hours, 30 minutes already. Holy, that's a lot of time. This will be our last test. Like I'm not willing to troubleshoot the HTTP client on the router. Yeah. And it will take forever, of course, because it will probably not use cached anything. It will restart everything from the beginning. Okay, this will take time. I mean, what else can... Oh, I'm a moron. I am using this. I mean, we'll not see. Okay, it returns 302 found. Okay, now it all makes sense. The router can do 302, I guess. Oh wait, hold on. It's HTTP, right? Okay, of course HTTP will redirect to HTTPS. So this is just Bad transaction ID. Fin push ACK. Bad certificate. What? Is there a way to disable certificates here? Yeah, I have a suspicion that I actually need to install the root CA for the certificate, so that it's success. By the way, let me update. You see where I'm going? So this doesn't seem like I can disable SSL verification on the client here. Don't have credentials. What are you talking about? There are no credentials. I don't know what this means. I do have a suspicion though that it doesn't know how to resolve, like how to check certificate. Maybe nah, they yeah. With the push they're doing towards HTTPS, it's unlikely this will work. Okay, so I can still make it work with guest shell, I guess. They changed some syntax here in the guest shell. Oh boy. Okay, I don't want to keep going forward. It's already almost 4 hours. So let's do a summary here. I still think we managed to get decent results. Okay, one last try. Now, it will continue because I will, yeah, no, okay. So let's do summary. On the stream we were discussing serverless and the current iteration of serverless with containers. It seems this is where cloud providers are going. Just a brief summary of the serverless. It really means that you write your app, you package it in some way, and you give it to a cloud provider of serverless service, and they run it somehow. It doesn't mean that there are no servers. What it means is that you don't have to care about them, what is running on their infrastructure and stuff like that. You just build an app. In this current iteration, so it all started with there were very specific languages and a package of requirements for that, but now it seems it all goes towards a container. So like build a container, give us your container, bind the port, and we will deploy the service for you, which is, I think, is pretty amazing. So today we were testing one of these solutions called Google Cloud Run. I would say that I was genuinely impressed. It wasn't hard. It was super easy. Tutorials are really good. Like, I was impressed by the quality of tutorials as well. Like, you could just follow step by step to deploy their initial hello world app, and then just start building from there. So what we did is we built a small Python app, which I called Network Overwatch, and the idea there is you have listener for events, for example, and I was using, by the way, the latest techniques in Python programming world, specifically async IO and the web framework called starlette, which is using async IO. So mainly because I just wanted to, to try it out. It's actually a super nice experience, this framework. I absolutely love it now. The docs are also amazing. So what we built is this one event where we say config changed. So whenever there is a URL /event /config change /hostname, we'll extract that hostname. We'll build a message saying running configuration has changed, and then we'll send a Webex Teams message. So the idea was that whenever the config on the router is changing, right, the router will send this notification to our serverless app in the cloud, and then cloud will send a message to us, for example. So this was the idea. We built this. I built a Dockerfile from some of my previous projects. I just copy paste this Dockerfile more or less. Then we built a container using Google Cloud SDK, and then using the same thing. Where it is? here we are building this container from the Dockerfile local, and then we do this command, we deploy this image, and yeah, this is pretty much it. After these two commands, we have a service, serverless service, which is up and running, and we were able to test it out like more or less manually by, let's say, so I have here my Webex teams with the bot, and I say here, let's say R200, yeah, so our router 200. So I go there, it takes some time, and then the Webex Teams message should pop up here, which it does here, right? So I can do the same thing, once again, switch 15. So I do that, and then I have a message here, switch 15. So this is what we did. Now, unfortunately, we didn't make the router itself work. So for some reason, there is some kind of problem with HTTPS client on the router, and I'm not sure how to troubleshoot it. HTTP works, but unfortunately, Google always does redirect to HTTPS. So with this more HTTP just doesn't work. Unfortunately, we couldn't solve it. There is a way to kind of like work around this by using guest shell, and guest shell is a container on the router, and there is Linux, you can do whatever there. So we would change this event